What's up, guys? This week we are going to turbo. Right? You're used to this channel. We're turboing everything. So, anyway, we're gonna turbo the Z. Oh man, so first thing we gotta pull these headers off because he got some new Tomei ones, and then that should hopefully mate up still like just as good with the turbo kit that he bought. The kit that he got is basically like I guess he called it a Turbonetics kit. Anyway, it's this humongous box of parts here. I mean, this box actually, like, I could fit in this box. So we're gonna slam these headers on really quick, and then we'll start going through the parts and try to get everything lined up so we can put it on. It's gonna be like a really interesting process. I've done these before. As you can see, there's almost no room between the frame rail and the engine. That makes it pretty hard to work on, but it does fit. It is doable. You just have to be patient. All right, guys. So we worked on getting the headers onto the 350Z, but the problem ended up being that once we got them on, which it's not the easiest task in the world, but if you get the right tools in there, you can kind of get them. Anyway, once you get those headers on, the problem then becomes that if you look up in there, it definitely goes closer to the frame rail with the tubular header versus the stock one. As you can see over here, there's like a ton of room. If I move this steering shaft out of the way, there's room for pipes to come up and down. So on the actual passenger side, it doesn't matter so much, but on the driver's side, these tubes cross together and then they go up for the turbo, and they have to go, there's two different pipes, an up pipe essentially and a down pipe that has to come through this area, and there is absolutely no way to get it with a bigger tubular aftermarket header. So we pulled the other one off, we put the stock one back on, and now we'll be able to start running the flange pipes that actually connect together and go up for the T3 flange for the turbo to sit. So we'll go ahead and start bolting those on now. Okay, update. Got the intercooler bolted on. We had to move the, what is this right here, power steering cooler? Yeah. We had to move the power steering cooler that sits right here over into the fender well because it doesn't really fit. So now it just goes in here. I don't know if you can see it. But that's totally out of the way. The fender liner will cover it nicely, and it just kind of goes back in, and the intercooler piping can go this way now. So now that we have the intercooler mounted, basically we have to start fitting all the hot pipes that go up and then actually mount the turbo itself. So we're gonna start working on that next. Check this out. You have to tap the side of the pan. Let's see if I can get up in here. I don't know if you can see it. It's really dark, but anyway, we had to take the pan down, drill this hole, seal it back up, and put the oil return here. So that works pretty good. The oil feed itself is just on the other side. It's gonna go right here next to the oil filter. I haven't put that one on yet, but we'll be doing it here in a second. So that way we'll have the supply and the return just like they wanted it. Okay, let's get the hot parts on. Today we had to move one AC line out of the way, and they came with a new, heat coated AC line so that it won't melt, with the turbo sitting there. So we're gonna put that AC line in. We're gonna start working on the rest of the turbo hot side, get that all in and done. Then we can finish up the cold side and then work on oil lines and stuff, and then actually mount the turbo, and we should be pretty much done. So we're hoping to finish this thing up today, see what we can do. So we're about to put the oil line for the oil feed. And just in case you've never turboed a car before, This is the oil filter. So the main, oil pump spins off the crank. It puts oil pressure in, obviously, to filter it almost immediately. And then it reads pressure at the oil pressure sensor, which is directly after. And this sensor just, goes up into the dash so you can see if you have oil pressure. But because that's a good monitoring point for oil pressure, it's also a good spot to take oil pressure from to feed the turbo. So we're basically gonna get up in here and just pull this, and we are going to set up a T and run the oil pressure off of this. Alright, we got the oil feed kit that they supplied, which is nice, but normally I just go to the store and get stuff and make this. If you have like an oil line, a place that makes like hydraulic lines and stuff like that, industrial lines in your area, you can usually get some pretty good oil line made. This one is a -3, and it looks like they're wanting us to come off of the filter housing into the line and then put the oil pressure sensor back on here. So you just kind of make this little assembly, and that way you can feed oil to your turbo and also read it on your gauge and keep it all working. But don't forget to put Teflon on these fittings, but only put it on this one. Don't put it on this one. This one's hand tight, quarter turn. Don't over tighten these. This one, obviously, being the one that goes in here, you just don't use Teflon when it goes into the oil feed line. So you just do Teflon tape, this is Teflon tape, into this side. Aha! Nice. Came with like a bunch of stuff. Let's go. Some extra springs, some fittings, so you can adjust your spring pressure. That's pretty nice. And it looks like it comes with the one they want you to run in it. Cool. So we can just go ahead and install that little sucker. Alright guys, we've been working on this Z all week and we got pretty far. Jeez, there's bugs in here. Every time the weather gets cool, the bugs try to come bug me. Anyway, working on this all week. It's going really good. We're about done. But then we realized that they sent 2 of the wrong V-band clamps to complete the exhaust system. So we're there. We're ready to I don't know, maybe fire it up or whatnot. But it's probably going to be mid next week before we get the new clamps. I don't know if you've ever seen these V-band clamps, but it's not like something you can really just go get at the store. You gotta kind of order them in. So that's kind of how it goes with project cars, and every single kit I've ever done, it's always something. This kit was actually really good. I mean, it just looked like they mislabeled 2 of the parts that got put in with the kit, so that's not too big of a deal. But you can see the turbo's sitting in here. The exhaust is ready to bolt up as soon as we get the rest of the V-bands. Even over here we got the couplers and all the stuff ready for the mass airflow sensor to go back in, the air filter. The intercooler is in, and the bumper's kind of back on. I believe you can kind of see it through there, just peeking at you. Every car looks better with an intercooler, I would say. But the other thing that we have to order is, now that we got the turbo kit in, he didn't buy any kind of computer or anything to tune it with. So we're gonna go ahead and get him a computer coming and some injectors and a fuel pump, and then this thing will actually be ready to go on the dyno. So stay tuned. At some point we'll get this going. So far, hasn't been too bad. I really like it. But anyway, it's Friday. It's getting late. I'm not really sure what else will happen tonight, but a lot of times people stop by, so maybe we'll have a few more random clips after this. So I guess enjoy that, and I'll see you guys next week.
Offer the shot, bro.
Yay, problem solved.
Is it?
It was locked in fixed timing. Weird Mexican canny. Anyway, I'm gonna go tune this Miata now. I guess that'll be the end of my night. See, how much do you think a Miata turbo makes? It's a small turbo. Let's go find out. Hey! Is it running?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your hand?
Yeah, they're good.
You didn't need that knuckle anyway?
Not today.
So we're trying to drive out of this bank parking lot right now, and we just high centered on this little bump. Look. His car makes it over, but our car, well, he kind of got stuck a little too. We have to take it at like a serious angle. Okay, here goes nothing. Don't get stuck, little car. Oh, we got it, and we're free.